All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the world's most exciting classroom. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I'll be your host for today. If you've been tuning in this week, you know it is Galapagos week. So the Oosterschelde arrived in the Galapagos almost 2 weeks ago now. We started in San Cristobal, where we did live events with, we had our Darwin leaders in the field, 4 Darwin leaders working on really exciting projects like the tortoises, the marine iguanas, some plant-based projects. And then we've moved. We sailed the ship from San Cristobal to Santa Cruz, which is going to be our home base for the next little while. We have a new group of Darwin leaders, 7, I believe, coming in next week. And they have another amazing assortment of projects with conservation projects all across Santa Cruz. So this week, we have already been live at the public docks and seen some of the amazing wildlife you can see there. We had a Spanish event from the Oosterschelde earlier in the week. And then we've been using our Starlink unit. If I just shift over my shoulder, you can see I'm sitting here with my Starlink. We've used the Starlink at Tortuga Bay to go live with some marine iguanas and baby reef sharks and bird species. Yesterday, we were sailing to Bartolome, which is a beautiful island, probably the most photographed, iconic place in the Galapagos. We spent the entire day there. So we had the ship moving through the bays with some camera people positioned up on the volcano and got amazing shots moving through Bartolome and passing Pinnacle Rock. We spent some time at Sullivan Bay. Now, Sullivan Bay is absolutely incredible. It's the site of an eruption on the island of Santiago that was just over 100 years old. So it is an absolutely desolate lava field. You feel like you are walking on the moon. As far as you can see is lava. It is shaped, it is textured. It was really interesting to walk across and see that black lava rock next to the beautiful blue, the turquoise of the ocean. So that was pretty special. And today, I have been looking forward to this all week. We are in the Highlands of Santa Cruz at Rancho Primicia, and we are here for the giant tortoises. So I think we should get right into that action now. Let me switch my camera around, and let's see if we do have any of those giant tortoises around. Here we go. All right, we do. We have a great specimen here in front of us. We're going to meet our guide, Daber, who's with us in just a moment. So as you're tuning in, if you have any questions about the giant tortoises or maybe something about the Galapagos, you can put them in the private chat. You can put them in the chat on the YouTube page, and we will answer those questions. We have Daber here, nice and handy with us. And we also have another special guest. We have Charles Darwin's great-great-granddaughter, Sarah, with us. She's an incredible scientist, a botanist, an author, and she'll be here with us so she can tell us a little bit about the giant tortoises, and I'm sure she could answer some questions about the Galapagos as well. So, no further ado, let's get Daber in here for a little bit and introduce him, and then we can start to talk a little bit about these amazing tortoises. Hi, Daber, how are you?
How are you? Very good. Hello to everyone. My name is David. I am visiting with Joy and all the group of the Darwin family and with Sarah, the giant tortoise. Here we have the biggest, the oldest, and the heaviest tortoises at the world. Only they live here in Galapagos, and you can see only here. In other places they are there because the people before they were taken to the other places, but in the natural state you can see them only here. You can see how is the life. They are very, very peculiar and they are first. They are very, very important here in Galapagos.
All right, so we've got the biggest, the heaviest, and what was the third one? Biggest, heaviest, oldest tortoises in the world here on the Galapagos. Daber, if you can just speak a little bit louder for me. Yeah, perfect. And then, let's start talking a little bit about the tortoises. So first of all, job here. What do you do day to day?
Yeah, every day I am here. We wait the people that they are going to visit the tortoises. We visit with them. Remember that here they are free. They are working for all places.
Yep.
Here it's not like a zoo for a reason. We have to look for them. Sometimes, for example, they are here, and other places they are. We have to look for them in another place. Yes, and we see how is their life. Yes, they live alone. They don't have family. They don't have friends. Only the mating season they are a little time. Here we have a very famous male that is the oldest. we can see over there.
Should we walk over? The oldest male here.
Yes,
Let's walk over and talk a little bit more. Yeah.
It's about 180 or 200 years old. You can see that he's too smooth. When they are smooth, that means that they are very, very old.
Yeah.
Yes, and they don't have sickness. They are very, very popular here. They don't have predators for the reason they have this kind of life.
Okay. So, students, while you're tuning in, keep an eye on the shells. The smoother the shell, the older the tortoise is going to be. If it has all those ripples and ridges, that means it's a younger one. And of course, we'll know by the size as well. But I say we reposition. Let's go a little bit closer to the old fellow, and let's talk a little bit more about tortoises. I have questions coming in via the chat as well. So we'll answer a question while we walk over. I have Leo joining us, and Leo wants to know, do the tortoises sleep at night?
Sleep at night. Yes. Yes, they sleep at night in the mud. That they don't sleep outside. Always
okay,
they have
in the
to
mud.
In the mud.
Yep.
Because with the mud they can be warm.
Okay.
They can be hot because here the temperature is very cold.
Yep.
And they are recluse and they have to find a way for big warm.
Okay.
And this is where being in the mud. First, all of them have the sign that they sleep many hours in the mud. Yes.
All right. So that's good to know. At night, they need to stay warm. It's warmer if they get into the mud. And so you can see, if you look at them, that they are quite dirty. It's early in the morning here. It is just after 10 o'clock in the morning. So they probably haven't been up too long. You can see this one feeding here. David, can you tell us a little bit about the diet of the giant tortoises?
Why they die?
They eat, the food that they eat.
They eat.
Yeah.
In this side, they eat at least 40 kilos every day. They are vegans.
Yeah.
They eat, normally they are eating grass, but sometimes they have season of guava. Oh, over there they have a guava. When the guava is ready, fall down by himself, and they have very good smell, and they smell the fruit and they eat.
Okay.
Yes. Also, they love the passion fruit, but they are able to eat all kind of fruit. They can eat melons, orange, all kind of fruits.
Okay, so they like the grass, but they like the guavas and other fruits when they fall off the trees.
Also, they are able to eat the manzanillo. The manzanillo is the most toxic plant in Galapagos. You know that if the humans eat this fruit, the humans will be died in 40 minutes because it's very, very toxic for the humans. Not for them because they have developed the digestive system and they have like a filter and they take the best of the fruit of the manzanillo.
Okay, so we couldn't eat some of those fruits, but they're adapted to eat those toxic fruits. That's really cool. As we look over here, maybe some eagle-eyed students spotted. There's another big tortoise there. If we peek through here, we can see another one just through there. And so this is a good example, the smoothness of the shell. Daber, how old would you estimate this tortoise is?
With this side and looking that his shell is too smooth, I can estimate him at least 180 or 200 years old. This is an estimate age.
Yeah.
And also you can see that he's too huge. Yes, you can see how he is. And also you can see that he's not afraid like others. That is because he has been living together with the people.
Sure.
Yes. But for this, also we have doesn't matter this. Also, we have to keep the distance for time. Doesn't matter if they are friendly.
Yeah.
We have to keep the distance.
Absolutely.
Because it's the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's really important. Is some of the tortoises we've approached, they kind of pull in their shell because they get nervous. But this one here has been around humans so much, it does stay out a little bit more and go about its business, having a nice little munch of the grass here. So 180 to 200 years old. That's absolutely incredible. Daber, you told me earlier that we're only seeing males here today. How come we're only seeing males?
In the nesting season, the males, they have to travel to the coast. From here are 15 kilometers.
Okay.
And they don't prefer here for the eggs because this floor is too hard. And also the weather in the night is cold. And these conditions are bad. In early morning here, it's raining every day.
Yeah.
All of these conditions are very bad for them. For instance, they have to travel 15, and when they feel that the place is good, they bury their eggs.
Okay.
Yes, they go, they put eggs, and they return. They forget them.
Yeah.
They don't care them.
So the females are down with some better, softer ground, some warmer water, and they're laying those eggs right now. That's really, really cool.
But another thing is that they don't go to the beach because they are land tortoises.
Mm-hmm.
They go maximum 5 kilometers from the sea.
5 kilometers. Okay. Very cool.
And for golf, they are faster because it's like pregnant women. When they are pregnant, they go faster to the hospital.
They can move. Okay. Gotcha.
They 1 month.
They know where they want to go. Yes. So they're on a mission.
They are slower. For return could be 4 or 5 months.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And so I've got a couple questions in the chat, and then we're going to bring Sarah in with us for a little bit. So the first question here is this area where we are right now, it's not, they're wild. These tortoises are free to come and go. So they're wondering, Miss Wells' class is wondering about how many tortoises might be around here.
Yeah, remember that now that we are in the loud season
Yep.
because they are nesting, the females, for a reason now could be 60 or 80 maximum.
60 or 80 tortoises?
Season,
Yep.
in
Yep.
August, it starts the mating season,
Yeah.
and the females return. When the females return, another males return with them together. For a reason, in that moment, could be here more than 300 tortoises every day. Here.
More than 300 here
yes.
every. Wow, that's
Also,
a lot
you
of
can
tortoises.
see many couples mating, and you
Yeah.
have to listen to the screamings because the male screams so hard when they are mating.
Okay.
And we have to listen to the screaming all day.
Okay,
They
screaming
need
tortoises.
They need at least 2 hours for the mating moment. Or some couples are mating all morning or all afternoon.
Okay, and you mentioned as well that they have no ears, so they can't hear anything.
No, they don't have ears. They
Yeah.
cannot listen of songs that are outside.
Okay.
They didn't develop the same.
All right.
They have the bones. They have this.
Yeah.
They didn't develop. Remember that the animals in Galapagos, they develop the things that they need.
Yeah.
And they didn't develop the ears.
Okay.
They prefer being closer for being inside of the mat. It's like the cormorant. The cormorant fish. The cormorant was flying.
Yeah.
But he forgot to fly. He preferred to be fisher. Now the cormorant is fish, and he forgot to fly.
Yeah, flightless.
All animals in Galapagos.
Flightless cormorants are some of my favorite birds. You can visit them. Fernandina and Isabella. Is that the 2 spots? Yeah. Yes. So 2 of the younger islands.
Yes, they are younger for a reason. Until now, Fernandina.
Yep.
Is with a volcanic activity and is getting bird. It's getting bigger now. Yes.
Okay. Well, David, we're going to come back to you soon because there's more questions in the chat. I love these questions, students. So keep the questions coming in the chat. Actually, let me just check something. We do have a group backstage. Sarah, do you want to bring them in and see if they want to ask a question live for us? Let's get a classroom on camera, and then we're going to bring Sarah in. There they are. Hey, everybody. How you doing? All right. Oakville, Ontario. We got a Canadian crew here. That's awesome. What do you think about these giant tortoises so far?
Good.
Pretty amazing. Oh, here, I actually have 2 of my friends here. This is my son, Finn. This is Nora. Do you guys want to carefully go around? Don't go too close. Go behind the tortoise. Let's do a little scale here. And let's show how big the tortoise is compared to you guys. All right. So Finn is in grade 6. Oh, back up a little bit, Finn. A little close. Yeah, perfect, buddy. So Finn is in grade 6. Nora's in grade 2. So you can see how big this 180 to 200-year-old giant tortoise is compared to Finn and Nora. Finn and Nora, thank you so much. Thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Beautiful. Okay, questions. Let's take a couple questions, then we're going to talk to Sarah for a little bit. Nice and loud for me because I'm outside, so it's a little bit harder to hear sometimes.
Are tortoises amphibious?
Oh, I like this one. Daber, are tortoises amphibious? Amphibious, like go into the water?
No, they are reptiles.
Reptiles. Yeah, so they're reptiles, but are they amphibious? Like, do they go into the water? Can the tortoises go into the water? Yeah.
Yes, they can be inside of the water.
Yep.
1 month ago, we had the season, the rainy season.
Yep.
And the weather was very high.
Okay.
And they were passing inside of the water for go to another place because they can be without breathing until 15 minutes.
They can hold their breath for 15 minutes and pass through the water.
They have
Wow.
developed their lungs.
Yeah.
They can develop. For example, when they are eating,
yep,
they are not breathing. They
okay.
are only eating, and some minutes later, they remember to breathe.
Remember to breathe. Yes. Okay.
So that's for a reason they can be inside of the water.
All right.
But for sleep, not because they sleep 12, 14 hours.
Yeah.
They put the holes of their nose outside for breathing at night.
Okay. Very cool. All right, Oakville, do you have one more question for us? Then we're going to meet Sarah, but we'll come back to you, I promise. We'll get more of your tortoise questions.
Jensen, come up and ask her. Quick. Yeah, you can ask. Quick.
No, we've got a...
They like
How
to
much
be
does
with
the tortoise shells weigh?
only the human they don't like.
Ooh, I like that question. Daber, the tortoise shells, how heavy do they get?
How heavy?
Yeah.
Only the shell
Sure. Yep.
Only the shell could be 150 kilos. Only the
150
shell. When
kilograms.
they are alive.
Yeah.
When they are dying, the shell is less heavy.
Right.
Yes, because it's like a horse. Like it's because it's only bones.
Yeah.
And they get less heavy when they
Okay.
are dying. But now it's heavy. Now 100 kilos or more.
Wow. Amazing. All right, Sarah, can you tuck our class backstage? We will come back, I promise. Now I'm going to turn things over. We have the amazing Sarah Darwin with us. Hi, Sarah. It's good to see you again.
Hello again. How are you?
Good, good. It's awesome to have you with us. When did you get in?
Oh, just 2 days ago, actually.
Yeah.
So here I am in the Galapagos Islands now, and Darwin was here nearly 200 years ago. And actually, if he'd have come to this island, which
Yeah.
he didn't, but
Yeah.
if he had have done, he might have met number 45 here, this enormous
Amazing.
specimen. So it's
Amazing.
incredible thinking about how old they get.
Yeah.
So there are, largely speaking, two different shaped shell types of tortoises. There's
Yeah.
the dome shape that we've seen here on Santa Cruz, and then there's the saddle-shaped tortoise that you get on the slightly flatter, drier islands. And scientists think that they have this saddle shape so that they can reach their necks up to eat the vegetation, or maybe if they get tipped over onto their backs, they can help themselves roll back over. So Darwin was here 1835. He was 4 years into his voyage by the time he got here, and seeing the animals and plants in Galapagos began to make him question whether species might change. It was just initially just questions. And I've actually got this really nice quote
Perfect.
from his diary. So he met the governor at the time, Governor Lawson, and the governor announced rather proudly that they were able to tell from which island the tortoise came from by the shape of the shell. So this is Darwin. He didn't write extensively in his diaries at the time, but he only wrote things that were really important, and this was clearly really important to him. So he said, slight variations in the form of the shell, he claimed that on seeing a tortoise, pronounced with certainty from which island it had been brought. So he came back to this question later when he started to really come up with a theory. And it was actually the following year in 1836 that Darwin started this big question of whether species can change. And of course, ultimately ended up in his book, which he didn't publish for another 30 years or something, on the origin of species.
All right. So I apologize, classrooms, if the wind has picked up a little bit. Weather can be a little bit unpredictable here, but hopefully you can still hear us nice and loud and clear. Sarah, you let me know if you're having trouble hearing us. I can try and reposition. But let's get some more tortoises, Sarah. Why don't we walk over? We haven't seen one wallowing. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
So why don't you come along with us, Sarah, and we'll come check out a few more of the tortoises here.
Yes, and I don't know whether any of your students in the schools have ever seen the movie E.T., but I gather the director, Steven Spielberg, based E.T. on these Galapagos tortoises with these extraordinary long necks.
I can absolutely believe that, because when you look in their faces, then the long neck, I definitely see a little phone home action going on there.
Yes.
Very, very cool. Well, let's get a little closer. So again, we're passing our Starlink. That's the only reason we're able to connect here, because there is no cell connectivity. Thank goodness we have that connection here with us. And we are going to get down here to the water, and we're going to take a little look at our friend here.
Wallowing.
Having a nice wallow, yeah.
Absolutely lovely.
Maybe...
And your kids haven't been in yet?
No.
For a wallow?
No. There's still time.
Yeah.
There's still time. They've got their boots on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that looks comfortable.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely?
There we go. Beautiful.
Mud, glorious mud.
So, Sarah, you have been here numerous times to the
Yes,
Galapagos.
yes.
I believe you even did some research and some of your
did.
education here.
Yes, so I did my doctorate, my PhD, on some species of plants that are only found in the Galapagos. That's what we call endemic.
Yep.
And they're actually tomato species, so everybody knows a tomato. And I was looking to see how many endemic species there were in the islands. I named a new species as new.
Excellent.
And how many there were that were introduced and how they interact with
Yep.
each other. So yes, I spent months at a time actually in places like El Chato, where we are here today, and in some of the islands where there are no humans at all.
Yeah. All right. Amazing. And so, I mean, you've seen these tortoises on numerous occasions. Does it ever get old,
No.
or is it new every single time?
What do you reckon? No, it's always exciting and it's always different. And one always gets a sense, you know, you get a sense of discovery here as you wander around and you find these tortoises in the mud wallowing away.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Well, Sarah, is Daber still close by? There's Daber. Daber, we have more questions coming in. Sarah, you might be able to help with some questions as well. Let's see. So we did have the question about can they swim, and we talked a little bit about how they can hold their breath for about 15 minutes and go across a deep section of water. So not quite swimming. It's kind of more like they're just walking along the bottom.
They can take the air. They can be inside,
Yeah.
but these are breathing. Only
Right.
being inside.
Okay. Another question here about the eggs. We talked about how the females are away now. They're laying their eggs. How many eggs would they lay in one go?
They can cook until 25.
25.
eggs, but the probability of survive in natural way is 90%. No, sorry, 20%.
20% survival?
Survive when
Yeah.
they live by themselves and in the nature. But now, with the program of the Galapagos National Park, the probability is 90%. Yes, because
Okay,
they
yeah.
they care them with the incubator. They decide the sex.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to flip my camera around here. We're going to ask another question or two, and then maybe we'll go back over to some of the other tortoises. Give me a second. Let's get the camera switched. There we go. Let's bring us back here. Perfect. All right. So I've got you guys back. All right. Daber, come a little closer. We need to be able to hear you guys. This is a good one from our class, Miss Wells' class. They're wondering about, we have turtles, and then they're called tortoises. What's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise?
Yeah, the tortoises, they are land tortoises. They are only here,
Mhm.
and they have different life. Normally, they are walking. They eat grass.
Yep.
These land tortoises, they don't have predators.
Yeah.
But what happened with the sea tortoises? They have a peculiar life. They have to return to the same beach that they have born.
Yep.
Also, they have predators. The sea tortoises have
Yeah.
predators.
Yeah.
For have different life. The other tortoises, they can swim.
Mhm.
They can breathe inside. They have similar characteristics than the fishes.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah. So more turtles that these students might be a little traditionally more come in contact with freshwater turtles. I'm sure they've seen sea turtles. They spend a lot of their life in the water, right? And then their shells are a different shape as well. But they still have that tie to land. They have to do their eggs on land.
Another something that is very interesting is that they are endemic.
Yeah.
You can see this kind of tortoises, land tortoises, only here in Galapagos.
Yeah.
The sea tortoises, maybe they are traveling.
Yeah.
The tortoises that you're looking here, maybe they can go to another country, another coast, another oceans.
Yep.
If they have similar conditions, but they not. They are only here in
Yeah.
Galapagos.
So our 7 species of sea turtles are pretty nomadic, and they spread out across the ocean. You find green sea turtles all over, hawksbills and species like that. But endemic, only one place in the world, whereas we'd call our sea turtles more like pandemic because they're spread.
And the species that we are going to look in now,
Yeah.
his name is Chelenoidus porteri. What happened with this? This is the biggest in Galapagos because this island have a lot of food.
Yep.
The other have longer necks, but they are smaller.
Yeah.
They can be bigger.
Okay. Very, very cool. So we have a few more questions here coming up. Oh, I like this one. Tortoises on Santa Cruz, are they threatened? Are they endangered?
If they are from here.
Yeah. Are they endangered? Are they threatened with extinction?
Yes. Until now, they are dangerous to extinction.
Yeah.
Because when the pirates, when they were arriving to Galapagos, they were taking a lot of females.
Mm-hmm.
They prefer the females because the females, they are less heavy.
Right.
You know that for have more baby tortoises, you need both sex, males and females. And now with the program, they are trying to have more females, but have the same quantity, male and females, and trying to continue with them.
Yeah. So a little history. Oh, Sarah, did you want to say
No,
something?
I was just going to say maybe it would be worth saying that in the past, these islands people visited these islands in ships, and they were whaling off the coast of Isabella and Fernandina.
Yeah.
And they would collect these giant tortoises, put them in the ships. Apparently they'll survive up to a year without being fed. So this was really important food for the whalers and the pirates. Now, of course, they're incredibly well protected. We're not allowed to go anywhere near them. And actually, I think on this island, they're doing really, really well. The national park in Galapagos works incredibly hard to protect all of the species in Galapagos. And these guys are a real success story of what's going on in Galapagos. The numbers are rising. It's great success story.
Absolutely. And I think, was it 15 species, but we've lost 3, so there's 12.
Yeah, there's 12 left.
Yeah.
And the different islands have different species.
Yep.
They're being bred.
Star luck with how far we. Oh no, we're back. I think we're back. All right. Sorry about that.
You'll see the tortoise rearing.
Yep.
I'm sure that you'll be putting some of that where they have tortoises and they're rearing them in pens. They're tiny little tortoises, and when they get to a certain size where they can survive on their own without being predated upon, then they'll get returned to their islands. So it is an absolute winning strategy.
Absolutely.
And it's all being done in these incredible islands.
Pretty soon we will be releasing the Darwin Leader videos. Coming here speaking of conservation and protecting the islands, getting filming permits, permission to be out here and doing what we're doing is very difficult. And that's a good thing, because we don't want anybody to just come in here and, do what they like. But soon we'll be able to release. We were up in the Highlands of the San Cristobal, and we had a great project with the tortoises. So soon we'll have some footage we'll be able to release to everybody. Let's make our way back to that pond over there. I've got a few more really good questions coming in. I'm going to turn my camera on. Sarah, if you want to walk with me, maybe you can help us with this question. Let me just turn my camera so we can see us as we're walking. There we go. Beautiful. So Sarah, the question here is, I love this one, is how in the world would the tortoises have made it to the Galapagos?
Very good question.
Volcanic islands.
I know, and you're quite right, because when these islands formed maybe 2-3 million years ago, there would not have been any living things on this island at all. And gradually, over thousands and thousands of years, all the animals and plants that we see here arrived, and they arrived in a number of different ways, actually. And the tortoises, they think, probably came from the coast of South America. They probably floated across on like these rafts. So when there's incredible rainstorms in South America, what you'll find is rafts of vegetation come down the rivers, and it may be that a tortoise that was similar to these guys was on that. Maybe it was a pregnant female and arrived in Galapagos, floated 1,000 kilometers all the way to the Galapagos Islands, and then set up here. And that was when the natural selection by evolution started taking place.
So it would have been one species, and then some would have pioneers on different islands.
Well, and then maybe there was a storm, and they got floated to another island. Because we're talking millions of years here. It's a long time. I mean, the newest islands in Galapagos, I think, about 500,000 years. And in fact, there are even older islands that are now underneath the water. So we're talking a long time, and for natural selection by evolution to work with animals like this, you need a lot of time.
Absolutely. We've talked a few times about that conveyor belt. The hot spot in the west, the older islands, more established, and you've got Espanola. It's getting kind of flat and eroded, and then back into the ocean. Very, very cool. All right, let's switch my camera again. We're running out of time here, which is, I'm not surprised. We're here with the tortoises. Time goes pretty fast, but let's squeeze in a couple more questions as we walk over to another wallow here. Sarah, do you want to bring in our classroom from backstage again, if they're still there in Oakville? And I do see there's a second group there without their camera. Sarah, you can check if their microphone works, but if not, maybe they can type their question in the private chat for us, a couple questions. But here's a nice little view with a few tortoises hanging out. There we go. Hey, Oakville. Oh, can you unmute for me? I can't hear you
Here we
yet.
go. Here we go.
You're back.
Nikki, do you want to
All
ask
right.
your question? They had a question about how long do they live for, the lifespan.
Okay. Who's close to me? Daber. So we talked about that older tortoise being about 180, 200 years old. Can they get much older, do you think?
The promedy that we give to the years old. This
Yeah.
is the promedy.
Yeah.
That means that they can live more or less,
Okay.
depending their life.
Okay. So we think maybe around 200 or possibly longer.
Yes, possible long.
Yeah. Amazing. To think that, you know, some of these tortoises here could have been young tortoises back when Darwin visited the islands. That's pretty exciting. Do you have another question there for us, Oakville? We'll see a couple more tortoises here. I can see 1, 2, 3 in the distance here.
Sienna, your question? What's your question? Oh, Lucas, you have a question?
Oh, do they eat any meat?
Do they eat any meat? They're wondering.
So are they just vegetarian, just grass and fruits? No bugs, no meat?
No.
Yeah, so just vegetation. Fruits when it falls to the ground, this beautiful green grass that we have here. Yeah, good question. Maybe we can steal one more, and I can see there's another good one here on YouTube. You guys have one more?
One more? Oh, do you
No,
want
it's
to?
okay.
Isabel?
Do like males or female tortoises live longer or shorter than the other?
Oh, do the females or the males live longer than the other one?
Okay. Daber, females and males, do we know if any live longer? Do the males live longer? Do the females live longer? Do we know?
No, they live the same.
They live the same, yeah. And then do the males get a little bit bigger or the females?
The males.
The males get bigger.
If you see
Yeah.
a big one like him, you know that it's male. The
Yeah.
females are too small.
Yeah, so the females are much smaller. When we see them like this big guy right here, we definitely know that's a male here wallowing in the mud. And then if I come over here, we can see 3 here in the distance. 1 on this little island and 2 further back there. Hopefully you can see them. The Starlink is giving us such a great signal. Okay, Oakville class, I need a favor from you. You guys had such great questions. Can you give me a big shout out, a big goodbye and thank you to Daber and Sarah? We want to hear you guys nice and loud if you can.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Amazing,
Thank you.
Oakville. Thank you so much for those great questions. All right, we have time to maybe squeeze in 1 or 2 more before we have to say goodbye for today. Let's see. All right, so another question here about the tortoises is the migration of the females, Daber. How long does it take them to get from here to where they like to do the eggs, where they like to bury their eggs?
Normally, the distance could be 15 kilometers from
15 kilometers? Yeah.
15 kilometers from here.
And it takes them about a month?
1 month.
1 month to cover 15 kilometers. All right, so that is dedication to get to where they need to be.
And they go by themselves. They have to feel the cover trail.
Yeah. Yeah.
They go straight over there.
Okay.
We are next to the Galapagos National Park.
Yeah.
The forest that you see over there.
Yep.
Over there start the Galapagos.
That's the start of the park.
The
Yep.
Galapagos National Park is the 97% of the island.
Yeah.
And the water line is high for let them pass if they want. Sometimes when the weather is very, very hot, they look for shadow inside of the park.
Yeah.
But in months like August, July, that is colder, they are here for look for sun because they look for open places for big others.
Yeah. And I think that's important to that you just mentioned. 97% of the island is national park. This is obviously an area where people can visit and see the tortoises, but they are free to roam. They're not kept here. This isn't a zoo. These tortoises are here because they like it. There's the green grass. There is the mud for at nighttime when they're staying warm. So they're here because they want to be. All right. I got one more comment here. Let's check out what it is. So we talked, just to confirm, as well as class wants to confirm the wallowing in the mud, it's keeping them warm at night, right? They like being there in the water at night to sleep. It keeps them warm.
They don't like when it's watery. They have to be
It has to be
A
the
lot of
mud. It has to be
It
muddy.
has to be muddy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can see how they like. They
Yeah.
don't live when it's very, very
Yeah,
watery.
too much water, no,
No.
but they like that nice
Exactly.
mud. Yeah,
Exactly.
very, very cool. Well, one more look at our tortoise friend here, who got a little bit nervous, just did a little air coming out, pulled into the shell. A few more there in the background. Tomorrow, we will be live at the Charles Darwin Research Station, same time as today, 10 o'clock Eastern, which will be 5 o'clock in the UK, and that will be 10 o'clock Galapagos time, 12 o'clock Eastern, and then 5 o'clock in the UK. Daber, thank you so much for bringing us here today. Thank you for taking us around. Finn and Nora, thank you for being our excellent models and showing us how big those tortoises is. Sarah, so great to have you with us. Rodri, backstage, sneaking in once in a while. We know Rodri well here in the world's most exciting classroom. Sarah, thank you so much. I believe you'll be with us at the station, so we'll talk a little bit more tomorrow. All right, let me turn this around. Classrooms, thank you so much. It was so great to be here with you. I can't believe we had such a great clear signal here in the Highlands with the giant tortoises. Can't wait to see more classrooms tomorrow with our Spanish event in the afternoon and in the morning at the research station. But for now, we're going to sign off and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.